Hey, what's up, everybody? Gates here. Some of you may know this, some of you may not, but I'm currently in the middle of a $1,000 account challenge, day trading options. I'm taking this $1,000 and running it up to see how far we can get, and today is officially the first red day of the challenge. It's day number 3. We didn't make it very far before hitting our first red day. Previously, I have done this challenge where we took 5K and ran it all the way up to 100K back in 2021. Then I did this challenge again last year where I took 1K and ran it all the way up to 41,000, where we wound up buying a duplex with those earnings. And 2023, we've started off with $1,000. Had 2 green days to start, $21 on day 1, $55 on day 2, and day number 3 down $36. So despite having really amazing stock picks and analysis and the correct mindset going into today, it was a red day. I want to talk about what happened. SPY long over 398, Meta long over 140, Shop long over 4250, Nvidia long over 182. And if you just look at all of these, SPY takes off above 398, Meta takes off above 140, Shop takes off above 4250, Google, which was also on the side chart watch list, takes off above 99. We put Nvidia on the watch list, which takes off above 182. And then we had Netflix as well as a side chart item, which took off above 344. So what the heck happened? I went into today telling everybody in the pre-market that it was a fairly easy day for analysis, given last week's end of day, I guess all day run. We were looking for continuation trades today. A couple of mistakes and impatience, I think, is what caused the red day for me personally. I can sit here and say that a number of factors were influencing my trading ability today. Maybe the fact that I took Friday off probably didn't help. Maybe the fact that I got home late at midnight and had to wake up early this morning probably didn't help. But what it really comes down to is just honestly a lack of discipline. I feel that excuses they're pointless. They don't solve anything. We can't go back in the past and change what has been done. And all that we can do is move forward and take the time to analyze the mistakes that we made, learn from them, correct them, and hope to not repeat them. So we're going to move over into the 1K challenge for today and review these trades. So I always will post up the trades that I took, including the entries, including the exits, including the emotional review, and I provide charts with you with this information as well, so that you can follow along fairly easily. So I took 2 trades on today. It was Meta and Shopify, and we'll start off with the Meta trade. So what I like to do is focus on 2 time frames when I day trade: the 1-minute time frame and the 5-minute time frame. And I use the 5-minute time frame for confirmations, and I use the 1-minute time frame to pinpoint entries. So if we're looking at Meta on the 5-minute time frame, and we have a long idea in our minds above $140, we're not given confirmation that this is breaking 140 until we get this larger candle right here, right? So on the 1-minute time frame, if we switch to this time frame, we get that confirmation a lot earlier. We get the confirmation that it's breaking 140 over here, but it's a fake out. So the 1-minute time frame can be both a blessing and a curse, because if you're focusing on the 5-minute time frame, sometimes you will miss really good entry points that you can catch sooner on a smaller time frame, such as the 1 minute. But the double-edged sword side of that is that if you're giving too much attention to the 1-minute time frame, you get faked out. You do. And I think that with me thinking that today was going to be as bullish as it was, which I was correct on that analysis, I got a little overzealous with my entries and with my position. So Meta, first one on the watch list, I'm hyper-focused this morning on the 1-minute time frame, not giving too much attention to the 5-minute time frame. I see this break of this early morning opening kind of downtrend, the run up, higher volume coming in, and then the pullback to test the green line, which is the previous day's close, as a point of support, and it starts to get bought up. And I had a pretty good entry right here. I think I was up almost 10%, if not more than 10% on this position at one point. And I was holding for the high of day breakout. I was looking for this breakout over here, and we didn't get it. It rejected at 140 and came down, and I wound up selling it because this was hitting my stop loss. I was down about 15%. I wound up selling it as it broke back below the previous day's close. And I literally sold this thing at the bottom of this downtrend before it reversed and ran right back up into high of day, which is the move that we wanted to take an entry on. So how could I have executed this better? Stayed more patient. I need to talk about using the 5-minute time frame for confirmations here, because the 1-minute time frame, look at this. High topping wick, if I had just stayed on the 5-minute time frame, wouldn't have gotten faked. I would not have taken that trade. I may have taken the trade over here as it's pressing up somewhere midway through this candle, but if I'm looking at the 5-minute time frame, no way I'm taking this trade. Right? That to me is screaming rejection. That is a shooting star candlestick formed at a known point of resistance off the daily chart time frame. If I'm watching this on the 5-minute, I'm not taking it. So staying patient, watching the 5-minute time frame, using the 5-minute time frame for confirmation, not giving so much attention to the 1-minute time frame. To add to that, had I stayed a little more patient, this right here, this pullback to hold the low of day at the time as that point of support and then rally back up over the previous day's close, and then we get this big kind of green candle coming off of that PDC, this would have been enough for me to say that that's confirmation. And then I would have went long maybe on this pullback or on this candle as it started to print green and wound up selling probably up here into the high of day. So it's just a mistake on my part. You know, I got faked out, and there's not a whole lot that I can do about it. I mean, I know in hindsight, if you're looking at this, you're like, man, Gates, you should have just held, right? You were already down so much. Why didn't you just hold the position? You would have been green. Easier said than done, looking at this in hindsight. We didn't know that this was going to rally back up over the previous day's close, and even if we did, it's still at that time, in real time, looks like this could be a bear formation, a bear flag that breaks back down below the previous day's close. So we had no idea that this was going to do what it did. So to say that I should have just held through this position, I don't think is the right move. I think I did the right thing by cutting the position, but I did the wrong thing by taking the entry as early as I did. The second trade that was executed was on Shopify, SHOP, and we had a long idea on Shop above 42.5. So we get this opening, almost looking like an ascending triangle formation, opening triangle formation, and I suppose if you're including the pre-market run up here, that would count. A bit of a stretch maybe, but the formation is definitely there. The resistance was broken. We get the run up over the resistance and the run into the high of day. So where do we take our entry and where do we take our exit and where do we go wrong on this trade? As this rallied up and pulled back, I wound up taking my entry on the dip right here. On here, I'll show you. As this rallied up and pulled back, we went long there. All of this was noted in the alert room, so everything is always going to be time-stamped for you. I said right here, Shop is still a long idea at the 9:44 minute mark, and then 9:45 took the Shop long position here, and I give you the stop loss. Stop loss set at 42.5, old resistance there becoming new support there, and that time-stamped is right here, 9:45. So literally on this dip. We get the run up, we get the move into high of day. That's great. That's exactly what we're looking for. I think I was up 12, 13% at this time. And if I had sold this position when I was up 12, 13%, I would have been green on the day. This one trade right here was making up for the meta trade because I did use a little bit more capital going into this trade. So I would have been green on the day, not by a whole lot, but green when you're in an account challenge is better than red, of course, or is better than a flat day, of course. I should have just taken the profits. And what happened was I think that mentally I probably got a little greedy. I think I saw SPY starting to push up at this time. I saw Meta continuing starting to push up or continuing to push back up. And I'm thinking, yeah, we're going to go green. This is going to be a nice day where we run all day. And in a way, that was the case. But because I did not take my profits at the top, I wound up trailing this with a stop loss pretty much near break even, and I wound up closing the position over here about halfway through this candle. I tried to close at break even, because of with theta and everything, you're losing premium. So it was higher than my actual entry point, but I did wind up taking a loss on this trade. I literally let a winning trade that I was up over 10% on come back on me and close it out. Tried to close it out at break even, but because of slippage, I wound up taking a small loss, very minor loss, but nonetheless a loss, and adding to the already losing trade on the day. So the lesson to be learned here is what? Take your profits when they're offered. You cannot go broke taking profits. Nobody ever went broke taking those profits. I don't want to be making this video, but I do want to be transparent. It happens. I'm human. I make mistakes too. And you're going to see me post the watch list results today and post, win, and then these two losses. And it's going to look like on paper it was a fairly easy day to trade, but man, I just made mistakes. That's it. That's all there is to it. And nobody's perfect. So if you're ever following any traders or anybody online and they act like they don't take losing trades, or they don't share losing trades or share the realities of trading with you, then maybe reconsider giving them so much attention, right? Anyways, thank you for your time. I am deeply sorry for anybody that followed me into these losing trades today. They were winning trades at one point. Maybe you were smarter than me and took the profits when they were offered. Maybe you were smarter than me and decided to hold through if that was in your risk management. If that's within your risk management style to hold through on something like that, then good for you. Unfortunately, that's not the way that I trade. It doesn't really work for me like that. So I realized the losses, and we're going to come back stronger than ever, hopefully. So as long as the account's above 1,000, we're still in the profits. But day 3, officially the first red day of the $1,000 challenge. Thank you so much for following. Thank you for your time, and we're going to keep climbing.